One. Okay, Harmony, you can go ahead and start off.
Okay, so what I want to talk about is I found this really good tool for Facebook if you have a laptop. So unfortunately, you can't do this if you don't have one or if you only have your phone. So anybody who has a laptop, if you go onto Chrome, and if you don't have Chrome, the browser, just download it. It's really easy. And then go into settings, I think it is. And then once you're in settings, go down to extension. And then once you're in extensions, you will download, let me make sure, a toolkit for Facebook. And what this does is it gives you a lot of options to utilize to put like you can automatically add a bunch of people. It does it for you, so you don't have to do it like manually by on your own. And you can posts going down your timeline, so you get more engagement. You can it adds you to like 20 groups at a time, I believe. So it's a really good tool to put your Facebook on like automation pretty much, so you're not just constantly doing it all the time.
Can everybody hear her? Because I saw somebody says that they can't hear it. I don't know if it's just her settings or if it's everybody's. Can you guys hear? Put out your thumbs up if you can hear her. Okay, cool. I can. So then it's probably just like something with your speaker then. Oh, but give them the warning about like one of the features so they don't.
Oh yeah, okay. So if you do the liking of the everybody's status, and apparently I learned this the hard way, it will also like the comments in each status, which I mean can be good and bad. In my situation it was really bad, but we got it cleared up. I would suggest only doing this every like couple hours, only because you can get blocked from liking people's statuses for just like mine was only for like a few hours, but I'm sure it could be longer. So just be aware that, just do that every like couple hours, but it does boost the engagement because it allows people to see like, hey, who is this girl who's liking my post or my picture or whatever you have liked. It's really just on automatic mode. So, but yeah, I did it all day today and it made my life a lot easier. And I noticed there was a boost in engagement as well. So like I said, it's for the Chrome browser, only for laptop users as well. Only you can't use your phone for this one. But it's like worth it.
Okay, so there's that. As far as I've been getting more questions about, again, like where to add from. I don't know if you've been getting that too, Harmony, but I've been getting a lot about it. And it's like, I mean, I don't know if some of you guys are like repeat people who watch these each week, but I consistently talk about you have to find people that are really relatable to you. The audience that works for me isn't always going to work for everybody else because we have different personalities, we have different stories, we have different lifestyles, you know what I mean? So, for example, somebody who is not a mom won't necessarily attract the same audience that I would. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to where you should be adding, of course, like you can go into groups and add. And when you do that, like something that Harmony had taught me was actually going to posts and clicking on like the likes of the pictures or posts and adding from there, because those are going to be not only the people that are more active, but it also makes your life easier. Because what I used to do is I used to click on everybody's profile, add them, click back, click on the next person, add them. You know what I'm saying? Whereas this, if you just go to the likes, it's just like add friend, add friend, add friend. Like it's just really quick. Also, don't limit yourself to groups. Like I don't suggest posting in them. Keep in mind, I don't suggest posting to groups, only adding from them. But if don't limit yourself to just groups. You can even go to pages. So I know there's pages, for example, one off the top of my head is like how to be a proud mommy, or maybe, I don't know, Toys R Us if you're a mom. You know what I mean? Because those are things that moms are going to like because they got kids, you know? Or maybe you could look up your kid's favorite toy. Maybe if your kid likes the movie Moana, look up a Moana page and add from those likes. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to kind of like think outside the box and get creative for things that people like you would like. So say if you like, I don't know, if you like Maruchan, then go to their business page and then add from there. You know what I'm saying? So just things that like you can relate with other people. So like I said, you could do groups, you can do like the pages, you can do even like videos that go viral. If you see something that, I don't know, maybe you like makeup and there's a viral makeup video, you can add from there. You know what I mean? Or you can do hashtags. So like hashtag I hate my job, or hashtag single mom, you know, just get creative. And there's a lot of places you can add from. There's millions of people on Facebook. So you should never feel like you've ran out of options of where to add from. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that I wanted to talk about is negativity. So I feel like there was a really big presence of it this week in our group chats and in our stuff. I just feel like there was a lot of I don't know, discouragement. And I understand, like, coming from somebody who's had their low weeks, coming from somebody who started off where you guys did, like, hold on. Hey, I'm doing the team meeting. He just hung up. But coming from somebody who's been in that position and who's been through it, I understand getting discouraged and it gets frustrating. But you got to take into consideration the people that are successful. Like think of, I don't know, the guy who made Facebook or the guy who made Google. They started off small in a garage. You know what I'm saying? They didn't start off at the top. They worked their way up, and I'm sure it was discouraging at times. I'm sure there was bumps in the roads, things that they couldn't control, but they kept going. And that's what is going to determine whether you're successful or whether you're not. Bottom line, because if you keep going, you're going to learn from your mistakes. You're going to know not to make them. You're going to find what works for you, and then it's all going to come together. If you quit once it gets hard, like, what does that say about you and your personality? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I just wanted to talk to you guys about negativity just because there was so much of it this past week. I just want, like, our group chat is a place to vent. Don't get me wrong, when you're frustrated and you need help, but at the same time, like, you also we're supposed to be this like positive change. You know what I'm saying? So when you're constantly like dragging each other down and feeding into it, it's going to affect your work. And I know that Harmony has experienced this too, because we've been going through it, where we have our ups and downs where we'll be super amped and we'll work our butt off. And then when we're kind of like down in the dumps, we don't want to work. You know what I mean? But there's times where we just have to like push ourselves and get us back to that point where we're amped and ready to go. Because that translates. When you're messaging people, if you're hitting that voice message and you're like, so we do this, like they're not going to be excited. But if you're like passionate and telling your story, they're going to feel moved. They're going to feel like they can make a change in their life too. You know what I'm saying? So it's all just in the way that you look at things. And I know we've said this like 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 more, but your mind is so powerful. Speaking things into existence is a thing. Trust me, it's a thing. Like, I'll tell you guys my story for last week. So as you guys know, I've been doing pretty good with my weeks. I've been working my butt off, right? So I told myself my goal for last week was to hit 24 valids. Because, you know, there's the differences between prepaids, whatever. Well, I wanted 24 valids, and that was my goal. So I was working my butt off, and I remember messaging Harmony, and I was like, oh, I'm really bummed I didn't hit my goal this week. And I was just really being really hard on myself. And then next minute I knew I was adding up to see how far off I was, and I hit the 24 valids, and I didn't even realize it. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying speaking things into existence it's crazy. It's crazy. You'll be amazed by it. Just having that positive outlook. And trust me, I have my moments. Don't get me wrong. I'm not always this positive ball of energy. And trust me, like, Harmony can vouch for me. There's times where I've cried. There's times where I get really frustrated and I just need to put my phone down. And that's why this business isn't for the weak. That's why not everybody's successful. You know what I mean? But the ones that can stick through it and do it, they do amazing things. So I just want you guys to remember that when you're having a hard time, and reach out to us. If you need the help, then reach out to us. Don't be so quick to just quit, you know? But other than that, is there anything you guys wanted to bring up? Any questions? I want to ask too, now that the training's been out for a few weeks, I've been asking you guys periodically, is there anything you guys feel that I need to touch base? I still haven't done the OSP video, and I'll write it down again. I'm terrible, I know. But is there anything that you guys feel needs to be added into there at all? No one? No one? Okay, so that's a good sign. Any questions for me though? Or Harmony, whoever?
Nope.
Come on, guys. My inbox is always full of questions, and then we come on here and nobody's got anything to say. Don't be shy. Come on. Go ahead, Savannah.
How do you, okay, so I come from a state that doesn't need a state license. How do you deal with somebody who needs a state license?
Truthfully, I have them, okay, there's two ways. So one, I handle it the best that I possibly can just by looking at it and what I would do and like what I've seen along the way. But if there's something I don't know, I will either message somebody that I know is from that state and had to be through it, or sometimes I tell them to reach out to the group chat, or I tell them to contact the company directly because the company will help them out with anything that they need help with. So it just kind of depends on the situation and what they're doing.
Yeah, I had no idea because my state doesn't need a state license.
Just mine. And that's the hard thing about it is like you can't learn every single state license because every state is different. If I could take the time to learn the paperwork, I would. But like I said, every single state is different and you don't have access to that paperwork unless you're in that state. You know what I'm saying? So there's really no way for me to find out how to correctly do it because everybody has different appointments. Everybody has different fees. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like something that's
yeah.
hard to. Oh, somebody was like, I found my account in routing. Don't do it, girl. Don't do a bank draft. Sorry. But
now, do they have to verify? It's been a while since I've had a bank draft, but do they have to verify still with the bank draft?
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah. Okay.
It's never gonna get put off hold. Harmony said she'll be back on because her internet just messed up. But yeah, so I don't even tell them to call the number anymore. I know that we're having this issue last week. I don't tell them to call the number at all. That's 4551. I just have them go in the back office and verify under the live chat because I feel like it's getting done a lot more efficiently and actually getting done. Hold on, give me just a second. Hey girl, the bank draft takes 7 to 10 days to process. So if you wanted to like get in immediately, then if you could do the credit option with your credit or debit card. But yeah, so basically like you just want them, I've just been directing them to the live chat option because otherwise it's just like, they say that they verified, but then the company's like, oh, we have no record, or you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like it's just a lot quicker. Every person that I've had do the live chat verifies the same day. You know how with the number, there'd be like, oh, it takes 24 to 48 hours to reflect. And with the live chat, it doesn't. It just goes straight through. Any more questions?
When you do have to pay the license, like, do you have to pay it all at once? Do you know?
Yes.
When they sign up?
Yeah. Let me send my link 1 second. I'm so sorry. So with the license, so you have two options. So one, you can pay it all at once. There's no way to like break it into payments, unfortunately. So you do have to pay it all at once. Or you can start earning commissions, but the company will hold the commissions for you until you do pay for it. So say you rack up like a $500 check, your license is, I don't know, $100. So you would obviously feel comfortable paying for it because you know that your investment was returned, right? So you'd have these $500 waiting for you once you got your license approved, and it would be like a swap, you know? So you don't necessarily have to purchase it right away, but to have access to your money immediately, yes, you do, you know? But it does have to be done all at once. Any other questions about licenses? Something I want to clarify is that, so in the states that they need a license, they have to be 18 or older. If they don't need a license, they can be 16 and up. I've had people safely do 16 and up. So I know that that was like some confusion too. And if you just go onto Google and look up states that don't require MCA license, or states that don't require license for MCA, whatever, this one link pops up. I can show you guys in a second, actually, if you want me to. But this one link pops up. I'll go ahead and Google it. Give me a sec. And it gives you the list of the states that don't require the license. So these are the states that, sorry, I'm reading, that don't need the license. I should probably turn off my phone because it's distracting me. Let's see, states that require MCA license. Okay.
I think it's in the back office.
Is it? I don't know. This is the way that I do it. But this first one right here, and it just has a list. Right? Oh, shoot. So you can see these are all the ones that don't require the license. So that's what I go off of. I just have like a screen share, or not a screen share, a screenshot, and that's what I keep. Anything else you guys want me to touch base on? I just like, I don't know how much is like retained because I can go over the same stuff every single week to make sure that everybody knows it. But at the same time, like I also don't want to bore the people that understand it, you know? So that's why I keep asking you guys what questions you have so I don't go over tedious things. So if we want to go over posting, because I know that that's something a lot of people struggle with. Honestly, if you want me to be completely honest, when I first joined, I watched other people that were successful in MCA. So at the time, it was like Hensley. She kind of fell off the earth for now. But it was Hensley, and there was a couple other girls that I looked up to. And I saw the way that they posted, and they posted a lot of lifestyle stuff. So you'll hear me talk a lot about that, about taking pictures of realistic lifestyle. If you're out eating breakfast, then take a picture of that. If you're swimming by a pool, take a picture, office of choice. You know what I'm saying? So I noticed they posted a lot of lifestyle stuff. So I tried to incorporate that. For example, the other day I was on the couch with my kids and you saw me take a picture and I was talking about being able to work from home with my kids on me. You know what I'm saying? Or I know a lot of people don't want to go live because they're kids, but you've seen multiple ones in my lives if you guys watch them, that I'll be right here bouncing my daughter as I'm talking to them because that shows it's real. We're like, a lot of us are moms. You know what I'm saying? So people can relate with that. If you look like you have this picture perfect life all the time, like that's not relatable. That's not real. You know what I mean? I mean, unless you do have a picture perfect life, then props to you, girl. But a big majority of the time, I look like this, crazy. I have my kids with me. I've probably screamed at them for the 100th time today, but it still hasn't affected them, you know? And so that's just how life is. So if you actually show that and portray that, people are going to respect you a lot more than if you're promoting this like flashy lifestyle with these expensive cars. And that's when people think you're a scam, is when you're just like, and that's why I don't know if you guys notice, like occasionally, like I'll show my payment proof as far as like flashing cash. I used to all the time to the point where like I look back and I kind of cringe. But now, even with this $2,000 week I haven't pulled out money. I've contemplated if I should, but I don't want to be that person that constantly is like, look at my money, because that's not what I want to portray. I want to show, yes, that you can make money with this. Yes, that I am making money with this, but I also don't want it to be to the point where it's just like bills shoved down their throat constantly. You know what I'm saying? I feel like my back office and my bank and stuff should be sufficient enough proof for those of you that are like making your money. I mean, heck yeah, like throw in some pictures here and there to show that you are making real money, but I wouldn't say that every single post has to be money. And another question that I get a lot is like, they're asking like, how do I do a video if I don't have money? A big majority, like all of my lives pretty much recently, I don't show any money. You know what I do? I tell my story because that's where people relate. Like we all like, we're just like built to connect. We like to, that's just like how the human brain is we like to talk to each other. We like to, you know what I'm saying? And so that's why I personally just try to get my story out there. Not only that, like, I know I'm rambling now, guys, but I get like passionate when I talk about this stuff because you don't need to start off with all this fancy stuff, you know? But not only does it show that I was once where like you guys may be if you're starting out, or where those people are at the time when I'm talking to them. Like, I'll be the first to tell you that I was broke. I was dead broke. If you guys signed up under me, you guys have probably heard this story. But literally at one point, I had 17 cents in between paychecks. I cried. My mom like was scolding me because she's like, you need to keep at least $5 in your account. And I'm like, I remember driving next to her that day and we stopped at a red light and I was like, well, gee, if I had the $5, then I would. You know what I mean? Like, what do you want me to do? I got 17 cents to my name. It can't buy a freaking roll of toilet paper. What do you want me to do? You know what I mean? And so I understand being frustrated. If you guys watched my live last time, I talked about when I was working at Target around the Christmas season, people were buying their kids all these cool toys. And I just remember being that cashier and I was just like, God, like I wish that I could do that for my kids. You know, like I've been there. Like, don't get me wrong. I know when you guys get frustrated because it's not taking off, like I get it. I understand. I needed it bad too. You know, and so that's why it should be the fuel to make you guys hustle, to make this happen. Don't just quit because your situation's hard. Your situation will always be hard if you don't make a change, bottom line. You know, so when you portray that to people, when you tell your story, when you tell your struggle, and I think, is Deb still on here? Where are you, Deb? Did she get off? Wait, no, you're right there, huh? Deb. She's one of them where she was really scared to tell her story. And I want you to like chime in with me, Deb. Once you started telling your story, did you get more engagement?
Yeah, I actually did. I had to break out of my shell. Like I honestly, why it took me so long, it was not even just breaking out of my shell, but like I was just wondering how to incorporate like my story and how to make it relatable. Like I was embarrassed. Like, you know, working out with your kid's father, that sucks. Like not working, you know? Like I don't know. I was really embarrassed. Like, but I got out of it and I made it relatable.
What did I used to tell you? Because she used to tell me, oh, I don't have nice backgrounds, or like, because I showed her my beach video. I don't know if you guys saw that, where I was walking on the beach telling my story. And she was asking me, she's like, well, I don't go to cool places. I don't have nice backgrounds like that. And what did I tell you, girl?
It didn't matter, and just pretty much make anything a lifestyle, like take a picture of drinking coffee, you know, just the simpler things. And, you know, that does make sense. Like the simpler things in life is really what,
and you build up. Like, I'm obviously not on vacation all the time. Like, let's get real. That's obviously, like, I'm not at a point where I can be on vacation all the time. But when I was, I took advantage and I took videos. But on my day-to-day basis, this is how I look. I sit on my couch and I do a live because that's where I work. You know what I'm saying? Or I do a live from the car because I'm driving around. Like, you don't need this, like, flashy background. You don't need a flashy car. Just be real. Be true to yourself. And people will respect that. People join people, you know? So
it was more realistic.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted you to hear from somebody else who I've given this advice and see that it does work. You know what I mean? I don't want you guys to think that, oh, she's just blowing smoke up our butts, because honestly, like, it's tried and true, you know? So there was that. But yeah, so do live videos. Live videos are honestly really, really useful. For example, the other night I did a live, and in the time I was on live and told my story, I got 2 sales because somebody could relate with my story. And so that's why I'm telling you guys, like, a lot of people kind of like sit on it because they're scared to like, and don't get me wrong, it is awkward talking to your own phone and you're like, you know, there's like a delay in the comments. So you're like talking, you're like, so what's everybody doing? And it's like a good like 5 minutes before somebody comments, and it's awkward. Don't get me wrong. I still like, I don't enjoy doing live videos. I get off on tangents and I talk a lot, since obviously you guys can see I like to talk a lot. But like I sometimes I get anxiety when doing these videos because I know I'm gonna have to talk to myself and kind of like entertain myself, and then like you see like your numbers count to from like 40 to 15 to 10 to, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you notice a number drop and you're like, oh gosh, am I not being interesting enough? You know? So I understand, like it's annoying. It really is, but it's just something that it shows you're a real person. You can't fake a live. If somebody tries, like, I've had people literally ask me, are you a robot? And I'm like, have you seen my live? I would be some pretty advanced technology, you know? And I was watching a video on that the other day. You guys know that they have that, by the way? But anyways, so that's just kind of random. But my point is, take advantage of what's in front of you. I know a lot of people are like, oh, do I need to buy traffic? Do I need to buy ads? Don't get me wrong. I've ran ads and I was very successful with it. For the past, like, since July, I haven't ran ads. I'm barely getting back into it. But if you guys have looked, I've had amazing weeks the past couple weeks, and it was all solely from hustling, from adding, and from posting, you know, being relatable. I try to go live at least 3 times a week. I fell off last week, but that's okay. This is 3 weeks. So lives at least 3 times a week. And I don't know if you guys are like me where I need structure, otherwise I don't get stuff done. So I'm trying to set dates. So like say if I'm going to do Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays or something, you know? And say if you need like topics for your live, you could go live on Saturday and be like, today's the last day to sign up to be eligible for a check next week. Which is true, because if they sign up on Saturday, they get a sale on Saturday, they'll get paid this upcoming Friday. You know what I'm saying? So you're not lying. And I've had people make sales their very first day. I did. And there's other people who have. You know what I mean? So you can use little things like that to like pull in views, because if they're like, oh, today's the last day, they're going to be like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? And they're going to be watching it. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say mastering clickbait, because it's not clickbait, but it's attention grabbing. You want attention. Like, for example, I got really creative, and when I was running ads, you know, like you always see these ads and it's like, can you believe this? Or she did that, this and that. You know what I did? I said, hocus pocus, everybody focus. And like people are going to look at it and be like, what in the hell is this person like, talking about? You know what I mean? But they'll click on it. Or what was the other one? Like it was like holy moly guacamole or something like that. So I was just literally like looking up attention phrases that teachers use for their students in their classrooms, and it was working. You know, so it's like just get creative when you're doing this stuff. You don't have to be so like rigid, and just have fun with it, you know? So there's that. So posting, like I said, lifestyle. You can even, if you look, the last status that I did, I took from Harmony. You know, like you can use other people's statuses. It's not like they have copyrights on the dang things. You know, like a lot of MCA agents copy other statuses. It's just kind of part of the business. We have a bunch of different people on each other's Facebooks, and people won't even notice that you're copying. I was called out one time for copying a status, and guess how funny this is. So one time, this girl commented. I posted in a group. This was back when I was like really with MCA, and I had a business page called How to Be a Boss, and I posted my status whatever on my business page. I took it and I posted it into a group, and I like shared the video with it. Well, they went onto my business page, saw the status was on there, and they're like, you copied this girl, this and that, this probably isn't real. And I was like, that's my page. Like, you want me to message you from the page right now? Like, that's my page, you know? So that's like the only time that I've ever been called out, and that was because I shared the status with it, but in general, like nobody's gonna like be like, oh, that person posted it too. You know, like they don't do that. So don't feel afraid to like post stuff.
Somebody else from like I think it was like another company or something, and I enjoyed the picture that they had, not even the status, but the picture.
Yeah.
Right? It was just something simple. So I made my own status and I took the picture. It was like, wow, that looks like a nice picture. I wonder where you got it. I was like, what?
Oh.
What?
Contact everybody who's reposted pictures on Google then, because you can find the same picture. Like, I don't
Right?
know, stuff that's silly. Like, I always appreciate when people are like, oh, can I share this? But at the, like, I'm always going to let you guys. Like, you know what I mean? Because some of the time, honestly, they weren't my original thoughts. Yes, I'll add to them, but sometimes I'm just like, ooh, I really like that. And I use it, you know?
Yeah, ultimately she blocked me for that. I was like, okay. I was like, wow. Insecure much?
So yeah, so lives, if you guys aren't using your voice recording tool, use them. I am extra as hell, and you guys obviously like use the tools that you guys have. But you know that's why I got a new computer, so that I could voice message people off my business page. Because I couldn't. Off of a Samsung, I couldn't. And I felt like I was losing leads because like I said, I'm starting to do, ooh girl, look it. Hold on. I think it's in my room and I don't want to wake up my daughter. But literally, like I'm starting to run ads again, and I've noticed that I am able to relate more when I'm voice messaging. So I literally could just see like the money flying away from me because I wasn't able to like talk to these people, you know, and really relay my story. Because if you have like a bunch of messages and you're trying to type out these long paragraphs, like you're going to get short because you're trying to reply to everybody. And, you know, it's just not personal. People, like, you'll get lost in translation. Your tone's not there. You know what I'm saying? So that's honestly why I got a new phone. Now, I'm not saying you all need to go out and get a new phone. Don't hold me to that at all. Work your way up. Go ahead. What?
My only issue is like when I try to voice message people, a lot of the time my voice message goes to error and they can't hear it. So I ended up typing it out anyway, and I've had to like re-download Messenger like a couple times now just to get it to be able to play.
With other people's messages coming in as error, but I don't really have a problem with it, like me sending it. And if I do, I just tell them to close down their tab and open it. Usually it works fine. I know Harmony was having this issue where for a little while she used to have to react to her voice message, and then it would let her listen to it. So I don't know. I haven't really been having that recently, so I'm not like a big help with that. But when I first started, I only had a phone. So I did my training, my website, everything off of my phone. And it wasn't until like a few months in that I got a laptop, upgraded, and then now here I am, like 9 months later, and I finally got an advanced phone. You know what I mean? So work your way up. You don't have to start off from the top. What else was I gonna say though? Live videos, voice recording, messaging should be pretty self-explanatory because I have scripts there for a reason. So if anyone on your team is asking what to post or like what to send, and for your information as well, if you're wondering, if you go onto the training site, click on directory and then scroll down, there's scripts there. So there's 4 different scripts for information, and you can make your own if you don't like them. Don't hold yourself, like don't limit yourself. So there's 4 there, and then I have 5 example MCA statuses and 5 example engagement posts. Now, if you guys are new, I'm going to quickly reiterate why I say engagement posts. So a common misconception, and if you guys have been with us for a long time, before we switched over to this new training, what the old trainings were teaching is that your page should be all business, okay? And I agree to some extent. Now, don't get me wrong. You want a clear, like when they go to your page, you want them to be able to tell, okay, she's got something going on. She's promoting something. You know what I mean? You want it to be clear. That way, when they stumble onto your page, they can get interested and comment, right? But you also don't want every single status to be like, make 500 to 1,000 a week. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want every status to be like that, because you're going to get lower engagement, because people that are on your Facebook, they're going to see those same statuses all the time, and they're going to get bored and they're going to get annoyed. You know what I'm saying? So what I do is occasionally I'll put a post of, I don't know, like, where is everybody from? Or Savannah did this earlier with the Android versus Apple. You know what I mean? So everybody starts commenting their preference. And also what that does is it not only gets a person to engage with your page, they might even go to your page and see what else kind of stuff you post. But I don't know if you guys are familiar with Facebook algorithms, but the people that engage with your stuff are the people that see your posts, okay? So if somebody like pretty much never engages with you, they are way less likely to see your new post than a person who is engaged with you previously. So when you post a post like that, it gets people to engage with your page, and then Facebook's going to broadcast your post onto their timelines. So that's like a whole reason too why you want to be doing that, not just so that you're not constantly sales pitching, you know? I know that a lot of people have been asking about cold messaging. I personally don't. I have before, don't get me wrong. Like, just in the sense of, like, say if I saw that they liked my status or something, but they never messaged me before, then I've engaged with them. But I would never like go on an adding spree where I add 150 people and then message everybody, hey, I got a work from home opportunity. Like, I wouldn't do that. I don't suggest that. Just because I don't know about you guys, but me personally, when I get like random messages like that, and I unfriend them because it's annoying to me. I'm like, my inbox is already full, so it's just kind of like a waste, you know? And so I think that if you're going to cold message, then do your research and be very careful, tread lightly. People don't like a business pushed onto them, so just be careful with what you're doing. And I, you know, just like I said, just tread lightly with that. As far as, let's see, so I went over adding. I went over lives, recording. Basically, all of that plays into your image. So how you're broadcasting yourself. So if you're posting lifestyle images and stuff, then you're going to be you're going to create this image for yourself, and that's going to be basically like your first impression to people. You know, so if you are sharing a bunch of twerking videos and people smoking and all that junk, when they come to your page, they're going to know you're not a serious business person. You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong. If you guys have your hobbies, do you, you know, but also there's a time and a place for it. So if you're trying to present yourself professionally, having like pole dancing videos all over your page or something isn't the way to go about it. Let's be real. What else? Is there anything
Posting of your kids?
Posting of kids?
Of your kids?
I think that plays into lifestyle, because if you're a mom, then like I know I don't post my kids as much as I should, but honestly, it's because they're at a stage where it's really hard to get a picture of them together.
A really good picture, at least.
Yeah, like one of them's always moving, or one of them's crying, or, you know, like my son's 4 and my daughter, she's about to turn 1 on Wednesday. And so she's like a busybody. I don't know if I told y'all, but she's walking now. So she's like, my life has been shook to the core this past week, let me tell you. And so she's interesting. She's a little feisty one. Let me give you guys a little side note. I am thoroughly like terrified for when she gets older, because she has the most like temper, 0 to 100. Like if I don't give her like what she wants, she immediately throws a fit, and I'm like, she's not even 1, and I don't know what to do. Like I can't spank her, I can't like put her in timeout. She's not even 1. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So my life has been like crazy. I've got school, I've got her being crazy, I've got my son being nuts. So it's just like life has been crazy. But you know, like that's it too. Like I don't want to seem like ungrateful, because I'm grateful for my life. Like, my kids are my biggest blessings, you know what I mean? And they're what motivate me. So don't get me wrong. I'm not some terrible mom that I'm like complaining, but let's be real. Lives get crazy sometimes, you know? But so when it comes to like posting about kids, I try to, but it's really hard for me to get good pictures of them. But if you can, people look at kids and they're like, oh, like if you're another mom, you're going to be looking at other people's kids. If you're not a mom, then of course they're going to kind of be like, you know, but like, that's what I'm talking about, like attracting the right audience. That's why you want to make sure you're adding from the right people. If you notice you're not getting engagement, or if you notice that it's not people that are serious or something, then stop adding from there and start fresh. Find a new place to add from. Because trust me, it's all trial and error. You got to find the people that mesh well with you, you know? Is there anything else that I can go over that people have been interested about? I can talk about custom websites because that's been a question. So
Harmony just helped me out with mine.
yeah, so
Help me fix mine.
honestly, I paid for mine before I knew how to do websites. I could have saved myself a lot of money. I paid almost $50 for mine. But if you don't want to pay somebody, then you can just go on YouTube, honestly, and look up how to create a Wix website. And they're pretty in-depth, and you can customize it yourself. You don't have to, like, it'll become your own vision. You know what I'm saying? I don't suggest using Weebly because Weebly is not MLM, like, friendly. So if they find out you're using MCA, they will lock your account, and I've seen it happen to people, so don't use Weebly. Wix is okay. Squarespace is okay. I have webs.com, but I've been having issues with, like, when I try to create another site, it doesn't let me for some reason. So I don't know if you guys would have that problem too, but those are just a few of the websites you can use and try to customize it and take your time with it. You know, use the free one while you figure out what exactly kind of idea you want on there, you know, just as some pointers, of course. Like, on my website, I have a picture about a picture of myself. I have a bio about who I am. I have, of course, my payment proof since I have it. When I was creating websites for people, and I do custom websites if you guys are interested. I do them for $15, but don't feel obligated like you have to come to me. If you want to do it yourself, that's fine. But what I would do for people that didn't have payment proof was I would use like inspirational memes, like use quotes that people could relate to or something, talking about turning a new leaf, making a change, you know. And then I have, of course, the Better Business Bureau rating on it. I have the services, like some of what these services include. And then I have, like, I walk them through exactly how to get started. So that's basically like the important information that I have on the website. So if you guys wanted to make your own, then you could go that route. Who was it? I think it's Stephanie. Is Stephanie on here? No? But Stephanie made a really cool website. I don't know if you guys have seen hers, but hers is really good. What else? So websites. Does anyone else have any questions?
So going back to the payment proof.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Going back to the payment proof, say like you haven't got your first check yet, but you don't want to flash money either. Like, what are you supposed to do?
What I did is I was just motivational and inspirational. So I just talked about making change. I talked about the opportunity. I didn't say, like, instead of saying I made $500, I would say you can make $500. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be directly saying that I was making it. Or what I would do is, like, if I saw like an ad or somebody coming across my timeline. Mom! Yes, baby? Awesome. So if I saw like a nice video, I would share it and I'd be like, oh, another boss making money or another boss working from home, whatever it may be. So I kind of used like other people's payment proof to show that there's people making money. And now don't get me wrong, like, it's kind of hard when you first like are starting out and you don't have the proof, because I got really lucky where I don't know, I guess I had really good people on my Facebook and they were just kind of like rolling with it. But I know there's some people that have experiences where they're like, but what are you making? Like, where's your proof? You know what I'm saying? So in situations like that, like I've had people ask me like whether or not they should lie. And I mean, honestly, like obviously honesty is the best policy. And if you lie, you're going to have to upkeep with that lie. And so one lie turns into more lies. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like I would want to be as honest as possible, but I know that there's some people that take another route. You know what's funny is my sponsor that I got signed up with, she admitted after I signed up that the payment that she was showing wasn't even hers. And I fell for it. But I did feel deceived afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think you just got to like I said, promote being motivational. Or there was somebody in the group that was talking about how they're solely promoting the benefits. Maybe you want to try that so you can get some payment proof. Or maybe, maybe you can convince one of your cousins or your boyfriend or somebody to sign up so you have at least that $80 to prove that it's real. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to just anyone that you can. Or like with him, yeah. My boyfriend had signed up, and yeah, I was using $40 of our own money, but we got $80 in return. So I know a lot of you guys may not have like that luxury, but just trying to find somebody that might possibly do it for you, maybe, you know, just so you have something to show for. If not, just hustle, start adding a lot and really posting. Redbox? Was there movies?
No, I'm looking for the Box Red movie.
Which one, House?
Yes.
Well, I don't know.
The house. The one only the house.
What is I need structure from moving into a new place and having to start over. It's hard to stay motivated. Yeah, I understand. I kind of struggled with that when I first started school. I just kind of felt overwhelmed with like having to write these essays and making sure to keep up with my business. And so I understand it getting frustrating, but it's just one of those things like where there's a will, there's a way. There's people that work like 3 jobs and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you want something bad enough, you'll make time for it. Adding only takes like 2 minutes if you're doing it correctly. Make 2 or 3 minutes.
Food is not the most important thing in the world, but it's reasonably close to the oxygen on the we gotta have it scale.
Hey, did you hear him? No? He said that what?
Money's not the most important thing in the world, but it is reasonably close to oxygen on the you gotta have it scale.
It's true. The money does kind of revolve around it. And you know, like I say too, when I'm promoting it, like I try to remind people a lot about freedom in general too, because obviously an opportunity like this gives you the freedom. You know what I'm saying? So I try not to always make my posts about like I made this much or whatever. I try to talk about too, like how I was able to work while I was at the grocery store, how I was able to work even though my kid was throwing up, how I was able to do this live while my kid is sitting right here. You know what I'm saying? So promoting freedom works too, because people want to be home with their kids. People want to not have to listen to a boss. Trust me, there was times where, ooh girl, I wanted to shove my foot up my boss's hiney. Don't get me wrong. Trust me. I worked retail and fast food. I was a store manager at a local fast food joint. Dealing with the district managers and taking the blame for everyone else, trust me, I was just done. And what's funny, actually, is I quit there, obviously, and my district manager actually joined the team. So it's just kind of funny how things worked out, you know what I mean? He's not with us anymore because he's a quitter. But, you know, but yeah, so you guys just, like, if you're first starting out, I'd really, like, capitalize on, what is this movie, or this move? I that. You said this movie is killer. I was like, what movie? But really capitalize on freedom and making a change. Use eye-catching captions. Use words that pull the eye. Like, I know if I'm talking about money in a status, I talked about this last time if you guys remember. If I'm talking about money in a status, I'll capitalize money because I know my eyes are just like gravitated to it because I'm like, money? Where? Like, I'm in on it. You know what I mean? So I try to capitalize words strategically, like say change because people want change. So I'll capitalize change. Or what else do I capitalize? I don't know. You guys could search through my statuses and see the type of stuff that I do. But yeah, so it's just kind of like, can you bring her to me? I thought she was down for the night. So, anyone else have questions?
Do you ever have any like success, like say after like 12 in the morning?
When I was doing Forex, I was staying up till like 3 in the morning and I would still be working then. So I know that they say like the busiest times on Facebook is between 4 and 9. But I do notice too, like I get questions late at night. I'll wake up and there'll be people messaging me at like 2 in the morning and I'm like, what are people doing up at this time? You know? Because some people work graveyards. You know what I mean? So there's a thing called Buffer, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it actually like posts statuses for you. So you could set a timer for it to post at like 2 in the morning so it can get those night birds. You know what I mean? So that's something you might want to do. You could try it. Any other questions? Nope. Did I go over all of it? So I was setting the goal, and I've been keeping it pretty consistent for you guys because this is what I aim for at least 100 people added onto your friends list a day. So you should be sending out more than 100 friend requests to achieve that because not everybody's going to be accepting your friend requests. What I do is I typically send anywhere from 100 to 150 friend requests every hour. I try to wait like every like couple hours in between. But my account is pretty seasoned to adding, so maybe if you want to start out slow and do like 50 every hour or something, you know? But you should be obtaining at least 100 new friends a day if you want a really good income. Obviously, if you just want an extra couple here and there, then like you don't have to add that many. But if you're talking about making $2,000 weeks like how I've been, then you need to be adding a shit ton. But yeah, so adding, making sure you're posting consistently, and live videos and voice recording tool are the biggest tools that you can have. So I'm going to go ahead and get her to sleep, guys, so I'm going to be cutting this short. But if you guys have any more questions or anything, then don't be afraid to either ask in the group chat or hit me up in a message or something, you know. But while you guys are motivated, do a live or something. Where I'm at, it's still pretty early, so worth a try, you know. But I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here, so let me know if you guys have any questions.